noticed this was drooping earlier. Let's see what happens. Oh, look, there's me on the screen. It's not really me. It's someone from Essex. God bless him. Thank you very much. It's very exciting to be here. It's an honour to be here with you this evening, and I've been asked to be a patron of the group, and I'm really, really proud of that. Thank you very much for anything apart from the local gay bar. I want to tell you about a problem I think that we have, which we don't talk about very much, although it has been touched upon a little bit this evening. In 2008, when I became the editor of Attitude, my life was kind of quite good in lots of ways. There was a play that was going on, and there was an amazing job, and everything was great. And I was suddenly thinking, oh, I'm 34 and I don't like my life very much, and I was drinking a bit too much and sleeping with people all the time. It's a hard life, but not really enjoying it, and kind of constantly thinking, you know, every time I looked at somebody, oh my God, I've got HIV. I'm constantly going to the clinic, speaking to people, and the people at the clinic saying to me, oh, it's absolutely fine, have lots of sex, it's great, that's what gay men do, that's what we do, enjoy it. And it just kept going around in circles and circles and circles and circles. And it kind of happened in my 20s, but when you're in your 20s, that's kind of what you do to some extent. And also gay culture celebrates that kind of thing, so I thought, I'm just being a gay man, maybe it's all fine. Had a few relationships, didn't really work out, and I was thinking, maybe there's a bit of a problem. Then it occurred to me that kind of, actually my very best friend went into recovery, had a compulsive eating problem, and I went along to some of his groups, and I thought, this is really interesting. And there were always more gay people there than statistically should be there. I always used to think about a third of the people tended to be lesbian or gay or trans. And it struck me that there was something in this. And I'd always thought, since I came out, that maybe there was something not quite right with the picture. When I was 16, growing up in Croydon, Essex, I feel your pain. I called London Lesbian and Gay Switchboard, and they gave me a number for a local youth group. And I was 16 years old. I called the guy, went to meet him at the train station, took me back to his bedsit where they held the group, shoved a copy of Gay Times in my hands, and played a video Gay Pride. Said, this is it now, that's what you do, it's great, you can borrow a porn DVD, it's fantastic. It was a VHS actually back then. It was a terrible time. And it just seemed to be that there were quite a lot of things which didn't seem to be working properly with a lot of my friends and a lot of people that I knew. And recently, there have been statistics come out to show that actually there is a problem that we don't talk about. And actually, there's a Stonewall report that's literally just come out a few weeks ago, the Gay and Bisexual Men's Health Survey. And there are some horrifying statistics in there. I'll just read a few of them, because there are quite a lot of statistics. Like 3% of gay men, 5% of bisexual men in the last year have attempted suicide. That compares to 0.4% of the general population. That's 8 times and 12 times higher with bisexual men than men in the general population. There's one in here which is particularly horrific. In the last year, 27% of gay men thought about taking their own life, even if they would not do it. It increases to 38% for bisexual men, 35% for black and minority ethnic gay and bisexual men, just 4% of men in general thought about taking their own life in the last year, compared to 27%. And we don't really ever talk about that, and no one kind of really is aware of what it is. It's not really ever talked about properly. Certainly when I was coming out, everything was just like, we need to show how great it is to be gay, it's fantastic, go on a pride march, tell everybody, it's amazing. And so I always thought, oh, I don't feel so great about it. Why aren't people talking about the way I feel about it? And it seems to me there are a lot of people that aren't happy with their sexuality or happy with the way they are living their lives, sometimes the lives that are prescribed in the gay press sometimes. We talk about, in America, in the last 18 months, 2 years, there's been lots of kind of press about this kind of teen suicides, which is horrific. It's horrible to see, and it's devastating for everyone just to see that. And also in the UK, I interviewed Roger Crouch. Do you guys know about Roger Crouch? He was father of 15-year-old boy called Dominic Crouch. 2 years ago, this May actually, 2 years ago, Dominic was on a school trip. He was only 15 years old. He kissed a boy playing a game of spin the bottle. Someone videoed it, they passed it around the school. We don't even know whether he was gay, straight, whatever, and of course actually doesn't really matter. The kids started bullying him and calling him gay, and one day he walked out of his school during lunchtime, and teachers didn't notice, and climbed up onto a building, a council building, I think 3 or 4 stories high, and eventually after a couple of hours texting 999 saying he wanted to kill himself, he threw himself off. And I interviewed Roger Crouch I think it was last October, then in November he won the Stonewall Hero of the Year award because he and his wife were amazing. And instead of hiding away, I think like lots of parents of kids who, LGBT kids who killed themselves, they went out there and tried to talk about it, spoke at education conferences and did what they could to tell the world about the problem. Anyway, so he won the Stonewall Hero of the Year award in November, and about 3 weeks later he hung himself because it got too much for him. So these things are being talked about, which is a good thing. But what happens to the kids who don't kill themselves? Because I don't know about you, I don't know when you guys realised you were gay or trans or bisexual or lesbian, whatever it was, if you are any of those. I was 10 years old and I remember thinking, oh shit, I'm one of those people in the paper, in the Sun, oh my God, I'm going to be a paedophile, I'm going to live in shame, disgusting, disgusting, disgusting. And I hid it and tried to change and would cry a lot, and then eventually I stopped crying. And I think about 14 or 15 I discovered masturbation. I thought, that's exciting. That makes me feel better, it's great, take that around, amazing. And I realised that you start having sex with people, it could make you feel a little bit better. And then I came out, 16, to the weird man's flat in Croydon. It's a double blow. Started going to local gay bars where there were other crazy gay people, all getting drunk. I started getting drunk, I started drinking and thinking, this is amazing, I feel fantastic. Took speed a few times, took cocaine a few times, that was quite good, but didn't really go down that route. But I did go down the route of drinking quite a lot, just going out. So Monday it was GAY in London, Wednesday it was Heaven, Thursday it was GAY, Friday it was GAY, Saturday it was GAY. Sometimes on a Friday it was Pop Stars, that was exciting, a little break and a change. It was this constant thing, and constantly meeting people, sometimes having sex with people in the clubs. It's a beautiful thing, I'm so proud. It went on and on and on like that. And I've come to realise that addiction is a big problem for gay people. And not everyone, of course, not everybody, every gay person is addicted. I certainly have issues with alcohol and with sex, as you might have imagined. And now the idea is that if you feel shit about yourself, and the time, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 is the most important time in your life when you're finding out about who you are, you're getting all these messages from the church, you are disgusting, you are immoral. Even recently, this whole thing with the Catholic Church and gay marriage, saying that our relationships are a threat to society. Now, it's all very well for us here, we're all out and all the rest of it, we can go, oh, that's fine, but can you imagine what that feels like to a 12-year-old child who's coming to terms with their sexuality? And to be honest, it hurts me now, and it makes me really angry, and it does key into kind of things that maybe I believed when I was 12 or 13. So you feel shit about yourself, you can't often always come out to people at school, you have other kids attacking you, you might have teachers criticising you, which I certainly had. Sometimes you have your parents. I was with my dad today, but I remember my dad saying years ago, he won't mind me saying, although he's ashamed of it, when there was, I think Maurice Stewart was wearing an AIDS ribbon, and my dad said, that's fucking disgusting, it's fucking gays with AIDS. And it's just a stupid thing. He said he's totally ashamed of it now. But I was there, I took that in, I heard that, and it really, really hurt. So the idea is that if you feel a bit shit about yourself, drink on top of that makes you feel better, makes you forget. Drugs on top of that makes you feel better. Sex on top of that makes you feel better. Shopping can make you feel better. Eating can make you feel better. Maybe making yourself slim, or maybe making yourself feel really bulked up by going to the gym. Whatever it may be, there's loads and loads of things which make you feel better. And I think we have a problem with it. And also the gay media is a fucking disaster. A lot of the times it does contribute to it, and not just the gay media, because none of these things happen in isolation. And of course you can say, Mark Wright and Attitude have got their part to play in this as well, but I'll talk about that in a second, time. But the gay media, it's very complicated with the commercialisation of the gay media and how it worked and how the bars started coming up. And then we would love to live in a world where everyone was doing everything for the right reasons, but it's always because of money. So these bars operate, you see different clubs. I don't know if you flick through Boys or QX, I know the people who run those magazines, most of them are really, really nice, but you have ads for just people, sex clubs constantly. There was an ad for some club called Fit Lads where it said, you get in free if you have an 8-inch penis or more. That's great, I was never out. But it's not good. There's messages which are, it's not about me being a prude, because I had an attitude, how could I be? And I've had lots of sex, and I might do later on, I'm sorry, I'm joking. But the problem is we're just bombarded with it. We cannot get away from it. And the thing is, in the gay press and in wider media, you don't see gay relationships. It's so fascinating to me, so interesting with the stats that Adam had. that showed that we want to have relationships. How many times have you heard gay men say, I hate other gay men, I'm the only gay man that wants a relationship, they're all sluts, they're all this, they're all that. It just isn't true. I think we all want them. It's not about mimicking straight people or doing that kind of thing. It's just about wanting to feel love for another person, connecting to another person. And that is not reflected in the wider media, and it's not really reflected in the gay media. Now I'm trying to do my bit at Attitude, but it is a drop in the ocean. People sometimes I'm kind of defensive about this. We do get criticised sometimes. Why don't you do gay people all the time on the cover? Because there aren't enough. Some of them won't do it, like Simon Amstel, bless him, a friend of mine, doesn't do it. Another one's quite a few of them actually don't. There's quite a few in the closet who won't do it. When you do a cover, like I put Beth Ditto on the cover, put Stephen Fry on the cover, put David Cameron on the cover, when you don't do Hot Boys, the people just do not buy it. You lot do not buy it. Not necessarily you personally, but people do not support it. That is the sad truth. And I do my best. I get told off by my boss. Put Stephen Fry, you put an old man on the cover, he said to me. But I still continue doing those things when we can, because it's important to show diversity amongst our community. Inside now we've got a page which we've had for 2 or 3 years, which is called Truly Madly Deeply, which just shows a couple talking about their relationship they've been together. We now have another spread of real bodies with people of all shapes and sizes, different ethnicities, different ages, talking about their bodies and their body issues. It's a drop in the ocean. It's a tiny, tiny, tiny drop in the ocean. We need to change. We need to start talking about mental health issues. And we need to be nice to each other. We need to like each other more, because most of the time we don't get to meet in situations like this. We get to meet in some bar, pissed, everyone dancing around their handbags, trying to pick people up, and we are more than that. And we need to reflect we're more than that. And it's an honour to be on the panel tonight and to be with you guys, making a difference. It's so important. And I think the mental health thing is the tip of the iceberg, really. It is the tip of the iceberg. I think we spent so long fighting for our rights and fighting for the laws and making all the changes. We've neglected the fact that, why are we feeling shit? Do we have a higher rate of depression and a higher rate of suicide? We need to address it, and it's a big, long, hard slog, but I think we can all do it if we do it together. Peace, love. It's all about that. It is. It's embarrassing, but it's true, and we have to do it. Thank you very much.